Hello and welcome to another video on this channel. The issue of high case numbers is one of concern to many applicants. Every now and then you have applicants seeking to know what their chances are when it comes to being scheduled for interview. And so in this video, I will be responding to that preoccupation by saying which high case numbers, if any, do have the chance of being scheduled for interview as things stand in the DV 2023 program. That is what we will be considering in this video. Now, let's go into it. So, with a high case number, do you stand a chance of being scheduled for interview in the DV 2023 program? The answer to that question as things stand largely depends on the region you are from. The big regions have a similar reality, whereas things are different in the smaller regions. Let's begin with the big regions. If you are an applicant from one of the three big regions, then the chances of you being scheduled for interview in the DV 2023 program as things stand presently depends on the performance of your embassy. Let us use the Africa region as an example once again. The cutoff number for the month of April for the Africa region is 50,000. And for the month of May, it is 60,000. Now, if you have a high case number, say beginning at 40,000, then 50,000, and very soon in the early 60,000, and interviews are currently being scheduled at your embassy for case numbers up to 30,000 or 40,000, then you stand a good chance of being scheduled for interview, because after the 30 and 40,000 that are currently being scheduled, scheduling is going to continue up to 40,000, 50,000, and soon 60,000. So there will be case numbers as high as 60,000+ from the Africa region that will be interviewed in the DV 2023 program simply because their embassy is performing well. On the other hand, if you have a high case number, as we said, 40,000, 50,000, or even 60,000, and so far interviews are being scheduled for your embassy only up to 20,000 or less, then the remaining 4 months of scheduling will not allow your case number of 40,000 or 50,000 or 60,000+ to be scheduled for interview in case you find yourself in such a situation. That is, scheduling of interviews at your embassy is just around 20,000 or less. And it is not only in the Africa region. In the Asia region, for a third month running, the cutoff number has been maintained at 18,750. Now, some of you have been asking why the same cutoff number has been maintained for 3 months. I provided the explanation for that when the March visa bulletin was released during the month of February. So I'm going to include a link to that video in the description of this one for those of you who are interested in knowing the reason why. But speaking of the Asia region, the 18,750 cutoff number for the month of May will not remain as such up to the end of this program year. That cutoff number is certainly going to increase. In case we have the cutoff number for the Asia region to increase up to 25,000. Cases with high case numbers from the Asia region, for example 24,000, will only be scheduled for interview or will only have a chance of being scheduled for interview in case they are assigned to embassies that are performing well. The situation is the same with the Europe region. The cutoff number for the month of May for the Europe region is 30,000, and that makes some high case numbers to already become current. But those high case numbers will only be interviewed in case they are assigned to embassies that are performing well. Now, the good news about the Europe region is that most embassies from that region are performing well. The only exception that we have seen so far is the Ankara embassy. So if you have a high case number from the Europe region and you are not assigned to the Ankara embassy, then you have a good chance of being scheduled for interview in the DV 2023 program. So that is the situation in the three big regions. The chances of applicants from those regions depend on the performance of the embassy that each applicant is assigned to. Now, to the smaller regions, and beginning with the North America region, that region has very few applicants, and with the May cutoff numbers, the highest case number from that region is already current. So applicants from the North America region do not have any problem when it comes to the issue of high case numbers. Now, for the other two regions, that is the Oceania and South America regions, they are in a similar situation, and in both of these regions, our traditional high case number analysis currently applies. That is, those with high case numbers stand a low chance of being scheduled for interview, and those with low case numbers stand a high chance of being scheduled for interview. And that is simply because of the current cutoff numbers of both of those regions. The current cutoff numbers that are established for both of those regions are far from the highest case numbers in those regions. And so if things continue at this pace, it means that by the time we get to the end of the fiscal year, the cutoff numbers in both of those regions will not get to the highest case numbers, and as such, those case numbers will not have the opportunity of being scheduled for interview, because you know that one of the conditions to be scheduled for interview is that your case number should be current. But in case that doesn't happen and the situation remains as it is, then that is not good news for applicants with high case numbers from both of those regions. So to those of you who have been asking what your chances are of being scheduled for interview in the DV 2023 program because you have a high case number, as we just saw, in case you are from one of the three big regions, then your chances depend on the performance of your embassy. And if you are from Oceania or South America, then currently your chances are not good. Unless things change and your region goes current or the cutoff number for your region is increased to a high extent. That is what you should understand when it comes to the issue of you being scheduled for interview in the DV 2023 program, which brings us to the end of this video. Thanks for watching it. As we usually do, let's continue discussing in the comment area, and I will see you, God willing, in the next video. Until then, goodbye.